Yeah, more Good Morning Football on the way. We're going to do top duos, though, guys. Tyreek Hill, of course, and those Chiefs did their thing, putting on a show against the Bucs. It was, people are talking about them being the best duo. I was tweeting about it last night. Who is, though, in your opinion, guys? Is it Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill? Schrager?
Yes. It is, Kay.
You do? You think?
Yes, it is. I have Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. That was my answer, so I'll go with that. And let's see the visual of
what do you got?
NBA-style video game.
What do we got? What do we got?
But we don't have the rights to show.
Hey! All right, take us through it.
I don't know how you could pick anybody else. These are the top quarterback wide receiver tandem yards-wise, and it's not just how they do it on the stat sheet, it's how they do it aesthetically on the field. It's flips, it's incredible catches, it's wonderful runs. And they do it in the clutch. We know about the wasp play, but it seems like no matter when Patrick Mahomes needs a big play, Tyreek Hill finds a way to get open and he hits him. Everyone's going to go nuts about the first quarter that he had on Sunday. I don't know, guys. I almost feel like the 3rd and 7 conversion to put the Buccaneers asleep and put them to bed on the fourth quarter was even more impressive, that Tyreek Hill could possibly open. It is like they just speak the same language.
These ratings, what are these?
These are just no-look passes, high. Cheetah speed, high. Squirt ketchup, high.
Yeah, okay.
Backflips, high. Piggyback rides, we've seen it, high. And, of course, the deuce.
Yep.
Look, we're going to bring up a bunch of names, and it's a fun contest, but if it's not Tyreek, it's probably Kelsey, so that's your answer.
Okay. High bar.
The backflips, I do like the backflips. Oh, and the peace signs. All right, I respect that. All right, for me, I'm going with a duo that's tough, that's strong. You know, imagine like the old basketball game with like Larry Johnson, Grandma Mom with the gold tooth, and the young Baron Davis. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that's quite the duo. You feel me? I want a little ground and pound, but a little flair in the air. I think the best duo in the business is Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. I don't think there's anybody better right now. This duo right here might pump the most fear in individuals. Got a little toe drag sack. Angry runs for both. Royalty because he is the king. And you see that yak right there. Listen, what can't Derrick Henry do? We know he can catch out of the backfield. Sometimes when you're that big, that strong, and that dominant, you can't catch out the backfield, but he can. You know he can punch you in the mouth. 100-plus rush yards in 8 straight games. How about that for consistency? And this is the time of the year where he's supposed to be heating up. 7 career games of 150-plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's insane.
You know he's going to have a couple of more of those this season. And then A.J. Brown, he scored a touchdown in 7 of the last 8 games. And it seems like as soon as you start worrying about Derrick Henry, right, because that's what happens, hand it off, and then defenses start to crowd the line of scrimmage. And then what do? Play action. Tannehill fakes like he's going to hand that ball off. He picks up his eyes, looks over the middle of the field, and who is screaming on a slant route? A.J. Brown, who catches that ball and comes right out the back door with the best yak yard in the business. Maybe DK Metcalf's up in there. That's his homeboy from college. I just feel like this duo right here, they're close to unstoppable because when you're trying to stop one, the other one's going to kill you.
Nate, you doubled down earlier in the show. You think Derrick Henry is going to be the MVP?
MVP.
He's going to have to end on a tear. I mean, he's going to have to flirt with 2,000.
He might.
He's tearing it up right now, Kyle.
But he's got to do even more. To win MVP at a running back, it's like, it's very, you have to make it undeniable.
If he gets 2,000, is that it?
I think it is. The last time we saw that it happened, but like, he's got to win every game. He's got to move mountains.
Yeah.
And he's capable.
A lot of variables got to happen.
A lot. And Mahomes got to fall off, but I don't care. I would love to see Henry win it, too. I'm going to go with, you know, when I think about the early NBA Jam game you're talking about, I used to love Shaq and Scott Skiles. Yeah. That was my... But in this case, I'm going to go with Shaq and Brian Hill. The coach over on the side, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur.
Hey.
It's the most dangerous tandem. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the qualifications. Here we go. The karaoke rating is very high for Rodgers. He sings the Scorpions. Eyebrows off the chart for LaFleur. Dragon slaying is high for Rodgers. It should be low. He was in Game of Thrones and was incinerated. Drafting also high, even though I think that should be low. We had a few of these backwards, but knockout. He has a high knockout rating, Matt LaFleur. He did injure himself playing knockout in the basketball game. So we want to get him back for that. And then also chicks dig the long ball. Also, fans dig winning, and these two have done things that history hasn't done. 27 games they got together. 27 starts. Rodgers and LaFleur are better through 27 starts than Brady and Belichick, than Montana and Walsh, than Manning and Dungy, than Roethlisberger and Tomlin, way better than Breeze and Peyton. Guys, these are all Hall of Fame coaches and Hall of Fame quarterbacks. No one's doing it like this. And if you're saying, well, LaFleur just jumped on the Rodgers Express, That thing was dragging sparks with Mike McCarthy when he got fired. It was not an automatic win. You show up, roll the ball out, and Aaron Rodgers wins. It has been with this guy. Huge credit to LaFleur. This is when we're saying Rodgers is locking than he's ever been, he's the best I've ever seen anybody play, I think it has a lot to do with the guy he's literally hugging on the sideline because of how he's calling the game. Rodgers and LaFleur, I will have a piece of that Tyreek versus Mahomes.
Devontae might want to have a word with you.
I was going to say, Devontae and Rodgers. No?
Devontae's good. I just want to do it differently.
You want to do it?
And I think we're constantly hyping Devontae and Rodgers.
Yeah.
They're amazing. LaFleur's pretty awesome, too. I love LaFleur, so give me the credit. He gets to be the Brian Hill.
Winning.
Devontae would be the Scott Skiles.
What if they didn't get along?
Winning.
With LaFleur and everything?
Like just with LaFleur.
People
and
wanted
Rodgers.
that to not happen.
Yeah, people were really standing that.
Rodgers is calling audibles at the line. He's undermining LaFleur. That was a ridiculous summer storyline.
That was a long-time summer storyline.
I know. All they do is win, though.
Did we miss one? Adams Rodgers, obviously. Let us know on Twitter, everybody. Best NFL duo right now, 2020, December 1st at GMFB. We've got more to talk about.
We've been tracking this every single week, and before we do, we like to tip the cap to a rushing title winner of yesteryear. Today is no different. We go back to 1967 to Leroy Kelly. The Browns running back led the league with 1,200 rushing yards. Check this out. Drafted in the 8th round by Cleveland out of Morgan State in 1964. Leroy was Jim Brown's backup. He was the guy behind maybe the greatest football player ever. Jim Brown retires. Kelly comes in and just starts destroying it. He has, next 9 years, 12,000 yards, 90 touchdowns. After Jim Brown, guys, he runs all the way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I'll be honest, complete blind spot in my NFL history knowing that the guy after Jim Brown also was a Hall of Famer.
How about that? He was, in effect, the Jay Fiedler to Marino.
You said 9 years, 12,000
Yes,
yards?
dude, 12,000 years.
In the
Pro
60s.
Football Hall of Famer Leroy Kelly out of Morgan
all they did
State.
was run.
We respect you, but as much as we love him, let's get back to this season. Because before the season started, the four of us did a draft. We did a virtual draft in which we picked 3 players each who we predicted would win the rushing title this year. Follow me from left to right. I had the first pick. It took Derrick Henry. Saquon was on the show today. Will not win it. Jonathan Taylor, the Colts, no. Schrager, Edwards-Helaire, Zeke, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders had nothing last night and didn't get any opportunities. Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, Dalvin and Gurley on the Falcons having a good year.
Yeah.
Nate went McCaffrey, Kamara, and then Kareem Hunt as the Mr. Irrelevant. Those were our picks. This is 12 weeks ago. When last we saw the race, Derrick Henry had a 10-yard lead over Dalvin Cook. Let's go to the races now. Lift that beautiful red curtain, sound the bugles. Everybody get your juleps and have your oversized hats, and here we go. Derrick Henry is out quickly, followed by Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb on the bottom. Christian McCaffrey still not getting out of the gates. Why aren't we taking him out of the graphic on this segment? We probably should. But Derrick Henry coming down the right. It's Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. It is King Henry opening up on the home stretch. Opening up after a big week. Now listen, he was up 10 yards last week. Now he is up 147 yards. And we don't got too many furlongs left to go in this thing. As usual, let's tip the cap to James Robinson on an awful Jacksonville team. Number 3 in the entire NFL.
Another 100-yard game.
Another one, a rookie, undrafted.
I love that.
But Derrick Henry, my guy, the number 1 overall pick, opening up, running his eyeballs out. Kay Adams,
I'm terrified.
How are you feeling about Dalvin
I'm
and
terrified because I know how Derrick Henry, how he works. I think we have 100-yard games in our future over and over and over again. I will say Dalvin Cook, down week. I think he bounces back in a big way. This week, it's the